Hi everyone. It's been a minute since my last video, huh? Yes, it has. Since my last video, I've moved into a new city, a new house, and new residence, and I love it. It's really nice here. There's trees everywhere, and the house is really big, and there's lots of room to express yourself and all that. And I live with my brother now, and it's pretty amazing. He's also INTP, by the way, and we're twins. And it's just been a really interesting experience. It was really just an opportunity that arose, and my lease was up on my apartment where I used to live, and so we decided to pull the trigger, and I moved in with him and his daughter, and it's been really great so far, and it's really nice living with someone who thinks exactly like you, especially as an INTP. And on that, I want to talk about perceiving versus judging today. The reason I want to talk about that is because I've noticed that, especially over the past few months, like with my big move and all of that stuff, that the way that perceiving types and the way that judging types accomplish things is very different. And there's actually a lot of bias against perceiving types in the world. So perceiving types are often seen as disorganized, and that they don't really have a game plan, and that they just seem to bumble around and do random things, and turn in projects late and things like that. And to some degree, some of that is true, but that's disregarding the positive that a perceiver can bring to a situation, and it's also forgetting one very critical thing. And the one critical thing is that perceiving types, generally speaking, accomplish just as much as judgment types. It's just the way it is. So now we've got ourselves a situation. Perceiving types accomplish just as much as judging types. Yet, judging types are seen as the ones that do it, and perceiving types are seen as the ones that don't know what's going on and turn things in late and don't seem to have their act together oftentimes. So what gives? What's going on? I'll tell you what's going on. Perceiving types get things done at their own pace, and deadlines don't really bother us that much. We don't even really see, I dare say, value in deadlines. Nor do we really see value in having very detailed plans, if any plan at all. Goals themselves, this is really going to blow the mind of a lot of the judgment types out there. Goals themselves don't really align to perceiving types very much. And so a judgment type would say, well, how do you get anything done if you don't have any goals? Well, a perceiving type would say, you just do stuff. You just do whatever you want, whenever you want. And over time, you will get amazing things done. And it might get done a little here and a little there and a little everywhere, but it'll get done eventually. And if on the whole you compare what a perceiving type has produced versus a judging type, it essentially averages out to be the same. Now, on paper, a judging type is going to do it much more linearly than a perceiving type. A perceiving type is going to go all the way around each tick mark and each phase of the project, and maybe start working on something else and doing something else. But at the end of the day, they might have done 3 other things at the same time even, and then whenever the project is done, they've done 4 things, and the judgment type's only done 2 things. Now, the perceiving type might be late, but then again, they're late and have done 4 things. So it's more of, we're operating under a different set of rules than the judging types are. Now, the next piece I want to talk about is very important. If you get anything from this video, listen to the next piece I'm getting ready to describe, all right? So perceiving types, it often seems like we don't know what's going on, or that we are very laid back and are just kind of go with the flow, and that we don't really have goals and objectives. And here's what's going on in our head. We're looking for opportunity. That's what's going on in our head. So instead of saying, I would like to make $100,000 this year, that's my goal, and darn it, I'm going to meet that goal. Whatever I have to do in my life to make $100,000 this year, I'm going to do it. That's my goal. A perceiving type might say, I guess I could use more money, and then start monitoring the environment kind of passively for opportunities that may arise that would allow us to do that. We don't think, I've got to make $100,000. I've got to make $100,000. I have to. I got to make 6 figures and worship that goal. We'll just start doing random things and noticing random things in the environment and monitoring and observing different things that happen around us. And then if something jumps out and it correlates to the possibility of making more money, then we'll capitalize on it. So if an opportunity comes where someone says, hey, would you like to come to a seminar with me in which, they're going to talk about a new sort of IT trend? And we'll say, oh, sure, why not? And you go, and then a person there says, hey, I'm starting a new startup company, and I'll pay you $100,000 to develop whatever software. And in your current job, you're making, say, $70,000. Well, you didn't have a goal to make $100,000, but you decided to randomly go to a random seminar, and then out of that, a job opportunity arose, and you chose it. So you didn't have a specific goal of making $100,000, but then you ended up making perhaps even more than that. And another thing may happen where, this is a true story, by the way, you may have cash laying around that you've saved up over 3 or 4 years, and then the economy might implode upon itself because of COVID. And you never really thought, I should invest my money. I should take all that money I've saved up and invest it. I never even thought that. I didn't. And but then the economy and the stock market and the other types of markets as a result imploded whenever COVID hit in 2020. And all the stocks went down. Some but to the note of 75 or 80%, even though their companies didn't even take a hit yet. The companies hadn't even started performing badly yet, and the stocks went down 80% in some cases. Same with Bitcoin. So I took my savings, and I had never really planned on doing anything with my savings. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I invested all of it in the stock market and in Bitcoin. And it was a lot. It was everything I had for emergencies, everything. And over the course of a year, it has had a 1,200% return. Not 120% return, 1,200% return. And so now I have this unbelievable amount of money and that I've made, and I never had a goal to begin with. I said, oh, the economy just imploded. I should probably put some money into that. Put some money in the stock market. And then it exploded, and now I have more in this random investment account than I have in my 401k, and I've been working since right out of college. And it's just this unbelievable thing that happened, and people would say, how did you do it, Jeremy? How did you do it? What goals did you have? I never had a goal. I just saw an opportunity and I exploited it. And so that's how a perceiving mind works. And so before, the next time you think, that guy doesn't know what he's doing. He never turns things in on time. He's always all over the place when he's working on stuff, and he seems very laid back and unconcerned with dates. He might be looking for exploitable opportunities. So, all right, if you haven't hit like or subscribe, please do so, and I'll give you a couple of awkward seconds right now to do that.